You know, I felt a little bit bad today.
Why?
Because that's a
Is it
whole.
because you're drinking Hennessy?
No. Oh yes, today's episode is brought to you by my brown bottle baby Hennessy. You could tell that I've been in a fucking mood. That I'm going back to fucking Hennessy. I'm not a big Hennessy drinker. I usually like my whiskey, but some days Hennessy.
So you're a stereotype?
I'm not a stereotype.
No, not you. Like he said he likes Hennessy.
Listen, Hennessy is great when you still need your dick to work at the end of the night. So nothing is unbeaten.
Right. You ain't never lied on that one.
Well, see, I don't have an issue because I've never gotten whiskey dick from.
Yeah, see,
and I will never get whiskey dick.
And that's the biggest difference. When you can't perform and whatever, it's called whiskey dick. And the Hennessy dick is not it's not about not performing. The Hennessy dick is immaculate.
Bam.
Anyways, no, I felt bad because, we kind of dogged out Anissa. I remember I was asking questions that did Anissa, is she faking this injury so she doesn't have to run or whatever? This episode, we got to see her ankle a little bit. It does look fucked up. It does look like it's legitimately
Don't look
rolled.
that bad, whatever.
No, but it's an ankle. Think about it. All fucking...
Jordan ran with a broken fucking leg.
Yeah.
That's where his mindset is.
But
Jordan also thinks that there's a difference between the A and the ER at the end of the N-word. So
there is no difference. They're both bad. I won't say either of those.
We know that.
I have an affinity for that word. I hate that word.
What, the N-word?
Both of them. Both versions of it.
There's no difference between the versions of it. They're both the N-word.
It's such a useless, hateful word. I don't like it.
I don't use it no more. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't use it that much in public. But I routinely in my language, I can't lie. Anytime I go back home and I go back to New York and it's me and all my friends around, we all revert back to being 16-year-old and then come flying out. But normally, I don't use it a lot in my daily talk. I hardly ever use it in public.
I don't use it at all.
Not that I have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem. Well, okay. I don't have a problem with Black people using it. That's the only time. And I'll be honest.
Tread carefully, mamas.
People of the African American descent.
You're fine.
I'm not offended by it. You got to check Malik.
I mean, it doesn't. Listen, it doesn't.
I don't speak for all Black people. I'm not the Black delegation here.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm not. I don't fault anybody of the correct version of using it, but I personally would never use it.
I respect it. I just don't use it that much. I just don't have a lot of use for it. A lot of times I'm in professional settings and it's not professional to use an N-word unless you're with a whole bunch of other N-words.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest. There's only I don't, slurs don't bother me. I mean, I've gotten called all kinds of slurs for being Mexican. I've heard them all. The only one I don't like is there's one word that you can't call me, and that's one word that I will not take well to. And that's
okay.
I will fight you if you call me this.
I just want to know what the word is.
I will fight you if you call me this.
I just want to know what it is.
So you know, I don't like. That's the one that for some reason breaks my nerves to the point. You call me a.
Really?
But do not call me. Listen, I'll throw my passport in your face if you want to call me.
And I'll throw some on you.
In high school in New York, that's the one we use the most. Even though, I mean,
I just don't think it applies to me.
It wasn't a great word, but it wasn't really used. I mean, it's not a nice word, but I don't know. When we said it, it didn't really seem as malicious. But I definitely get the feeling. That's not a word that's in my vocabulary.
The way it comes out of your mouth, it's like it's like saying cunt. You just don't it sounds worse.
I actually really like cunt. Cunt's one of my favorite ones.
Cunt is reserved for specific people, but I don't.
When I use it, I'm prepared to fight your husband. Like if I call a woman that, as soon as it comes out my mouth, I'm prepared for me and your husband to go toe to toe.
Right.
That's and to be expected. Yeah, but no. I've gotten called all kinds of names and racial slurs and all that stuff, but I don't. The other ones don't bother me.
No, I get it. But back to Anissa, I did feel a little bit bad about that.
We got totally distracted.
It's fine. I was kind of tough on her. I was, so maybe she does seem. But my favorite thing about today's episode was, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just go ahead and bring this episode in.
Oh yeah, we're totally off topic. Yeah.
First off, I just want to point out I shaved, so my face hair is looking great. I've been lifting. I am looking fucking brawling, and the waves are coming in. I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm
very attractive.
And I'm shining because Valentine's Day is coming up, and I don't have a nice young lady to spend money on.
Hold on, let me take.
You can always spend money on me.
See, I would boot you out of here if I knew you could come back in, but no. But also, you do look very nice. I just wanted to put that out there just so y'all know. Anyway.
I have no Valentine. I've never actually really had one either. I've never been with anybody during the Valentine. Besides, to me, it's honestly a Hallmark holiday. I don't even think it's really worth the time.
Hey, yo, that's sad as fuck. That's mad sad. Yeah.
That I've never had one, or that I don't really consider it a holiday?
But you never had one.
A lot of people don't consider it.
No. Hey, we're focused on Becky's sadness right now.
Happy Singles Day. I love Singles
Day. Oh my God.
I'll be at the doctor's.
Is this why you have so many cats?
What happened?
Is this why you have so many cats?
No, I have cats because I love cats.
You have cats to fill that gaping void that you have in your life, right?
It's just
I'm just fucking with you.
So intense.
Just fucking with
How
you.
lonely I am.
Oh yeah, and I have an Inuyasha. Not Inuyasha. Yu Yu Hakusho T-shirt. In case y'all don't know, Yu Yu Hakusho is the fucking shit. I'm trying to jump back into that third season. Can't fucking find it anywhere. I'm gonna have to legally download it. But moving on.
Isn't there maybe a Crunchyroll thing? Isn't that like anime?
Yeah, but why spend the $7.50 on that when I could buy a new silver chain?
That's right. Bling bling. I'm like bling bling. See, I don't wear no silver. I don't wear nothing.
You know what? You make a good point. See, I have my petite. See, these are my work chains. These are like my everyday work chains. But
how many chains you got? About
he forgot. He forgot he's got to bring his big chains out.
If I get a chain, I'm just getting one chain. That's it. I don't need no 12, 5. I'm just getting one. I don't know if it's gonna be gold or silver. It'll probably be silver.
I was gonna say he's bringing out the big chain. Look at that.
He got the top dog out tonight.
Don't have me bring the big boy out. All right,
that's right. Let's go.
What's gonna hurt your neck over there?
What's really good, posters? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Robert Stewart Jr. She is Becky at Gift Master Bex. What's really good? Gang, 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 gang. Another wonderful Who am I fucking kidding? TJ, I don't get offended by TJ Lavin. Love TJ Lavin. TJ Lavin's laugh is like catnip or cocaine, just something incredibly enjoyable to those who do it. But he said, he was talking some shit in between some of the stations. He said, "Are you guys ready for one of the hardest finals?" I was like, man, you don't shut the fuck up. The hardest final? Listen. Do you guys feel like this final has been difficult?
No.
Compared to some of the other finals we've gotten in the past couple of years?
Here's the thing. It's not 100 hours straight. They tried to make it seem like it was 100 hours straight. They're getting 8-hour naps in between. They're not even getting woken up in the middle of the night to like do other things. Like
Okay, pop quiz. What sounds better? A 3-day final or a 100-hour final? Which one sounds tougher?
100-hour final. Actually, I think honestly a 3-day final would sound.
Why didn't they just say
more
that?
Difficult.
Why didn't you just say that?
All of them.
I was gonna say, wait, that does sound more aggressive, like a 3-day final.
Exactly. As a competitor, I feel like a 3-day final. I feel like
You ruined that, Julie.
I already know that today's episode is going to be called As a Competitor. But as a competitor, I feel like a 3-day final sounds worse.
Yes, because you don't know what your body gonna do within these next
Big
days.
facts. Big fucking facts. I've been drinking, so all right. As we begin,
if you ever wonder if we read your comments, yes, we do.
Yes, we read the comments as a competitor. Anyway, we start off. Devin and Tori coming in first. Bananas and Nani's in second. Jordan and Anissa is in a very distant third. They reach Station 4. Station 4 is a nasty-ass green swamp they got to swim through to get pieces. Okay, cool. Another puzzle. Yay. They get through, and in reality, the only thing that really happens is Bananas and Nani starts catching up to Devin and Tori, and Devin kind of unravels for a minute. Now, at first, I thought this might be a big thing. I was just like, oh man, he's starting to unravel. It's starting to come out. But he kind of unravels a little bit. Tori checks him, and then they get right back into the groove of things. I was actually really fucking impressed. There's a considerable amount of challengers who would get into one of those kind of tiffs in this kind of a situation, and this will affect the rest of their race. But it seemed like, they got into a little tiff, they kind of dealt with it on the spot, and then they moved the fuck on. I was super impressed with Devin and Tori at this point in the final. What did you guys think about how they got into it and how they kind of just, they got into it and got out of it just as fucking fast? What was your guys' take on their little tiff?
I mean, it was barely a tiff. It was a frustration and a semi, and I understand where Devin's coming from, because he's really wanting to maintain this lead as much as possible. So I fully understand kind of where his head is at. But it wasn't really even a tiff. It was nothing.
I don't know. As soon as
if you
she
want to
said,
see a tiff,
why are you talking to me like
Jordan.
that? Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get on that.
Yeah, two veterans. I believe that they are in a good position as they are competing for the $1 million. And I got to give it to Devin and Tori. They've come a long way. They are showing their workouts has helped them in this, especially in this final here. So I am very impressed with Devin and Tori. They've come a long way. I want to give them a round of applause, because you've done your work in the off season, and it is finally paying off.
Fuck that. Why does Devin run like that? You see his hands kind of just hanging when he runs.
But hey, they in the lead. So hey, whatever works
at
for
this
you.
point, they are in the lead. Speaking of being in the lead, who's not in the lead is Jordan and Anissa. And this was my favorite part. Well, one of my favorite parts, because he gets worse as the episode continues. Jordan begins to unravel on Anissa, and they get into it a little bit more later on, but I want to address it now. And anybody who's been watching this show, we knew this moment was coming. Jordan was going to get tired of Anissa's shit and her inability to pick up. In fact, you know what? We're going to come back to the Jordan and Anissa part. I'm going to gloss over it, because we might as well just take this out of one part. But one part about it that I do want to talk about is when Tori came through big. Tori figured out the kind of pattern that this puzzle was making. Devin was able to hear it. They helped put it together, they executed, they beasted the puzzle, got the fuck up out of it. Bananas and Nani struggled a little bit, but they still make it a second place. In third place, Anissa recognizes this puzzle also, but Jordan doesn't want to hear it. Turns out she was right. She recognized the same pattern that Tori did. And Jordan had to eat a little bit crow. He did end up admitting in the confessional, not at the time, that she was right. And let me ask you a second. How good do you think Anissa feels being right and knowing that she was right? And actually, they would have been in a better position if everybody would have just listened to her. How good do you think she feels? How important is this for Anissa to be right in this?
Well, I mean, the one thing Anissa's always been great in is puzzles. She doesn't have endurance. She's not necessarily
and
the best at anything else, but she's amazing in puzzles.
And so eliminations.
Well,
you gotta give it two. And those are
listen,
two
I'm
good
just
things to be
talking about in general games, dailies, stuff like that you do on a regular basis.
Eliminations happen every episode.
You know what? And not every elimination is she good at. I.e., half the time she goes home is because she ends up losing the last elimination before the final. Anyway, what I was saying is I was giving her props and saying that she is an amazing puzzle person. Jordan should have shut his mouth and let her show him what she was, because he was done. I think at that point, Jordan didn't want to hear her. He didn't want to see her. He didn't want to be around her. He just knew he had no choice. So like that was his mindset. He's like, I have no choice. I want to leave your ass behind. I don't even want to hear you talk, much less have you figure this out. I think that's just where his mindset was. Now, mind you, wrong. He should have listened to her because she is known for this particular area for everything.
That's right. Listen to black women. Rob.
Yes. One thing I've learned in an environment like this,
as a competitor.
He don't say it for my. Okay, but anyway,
he's been drinking.
Big
that's true. But anyway, what I've learned is in these type of environments, you have to take your time. You have to slow it down, regardless if you're trying to move at a steady pace or a fast pace. I feel that Jordan stepped on his own shit. You know what I mean? So I felt like he should have just took a step back and just listened. And then I think they might have been in a better place. But I don't think that would have made no difference. So that's my opinion.
I don't know. The crazy thing is, with that puzzle, Anissa and Jordan is not as far as back as what we may have been led to believe.
That's true.
They're right up on Bananas and 90's ass. Like, they're right up on it.
Sure.
Devin and Tori break off to the next thing, which is another fucking puzzle. Who would have figured? The one with, all of the numbers.
Puzzle.
Yeah, not another fucking puzzle. Like, way to start an episode, Butterman and Murray. 2 fucking puzzles and running through a swamp. Like, great job.
Well, did we talk about the car? Was the car the first thing they did?
No. The car is after they wake up. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I've totally I zoned out through half of this.
Great fucking job. But Tori and Devin beast this puzzle again. They're ready to call it a day. Bananas and 90 catches up, but they are stuck by the puzzle. They are stuck by this puzzle so bad. Jordan and Anissa catches up. They make a deal. Y'all know how I feel about making deals in the final. They make a deal to help each other out. Jordan and Anissa, they get the puzzle done. They help Johnny and Bananas out. Day 1 is over. Now, let's get to the good shit. 1, even though I don't like deals in the final, this is pretty benign. The only thing is really going to be the starting point for tomorrow or when they ever get to sleep. So I understand that it's not really a big deal helping each other out or getting that through. But we've already seen Jordan started to unravel. And they get into it. A medic comes by to see Anissa. They tape her up. And Jordan's already been throwing digs at Anissa. And then he takes a shot at her. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, like, you've been waiting for like 13 years to do this or something like this?
No wonder it's taken you 13 years.
No wonder it's taking you 13 years. And Anissa blows up on him. I'm going to talk about that. 1, Jordan's not wrong. He has every right to be angry. He's not wrong. 2, the wrong part on Jordan's side is you came in here with Anissa. Everybody else knew how this was going to turn out for you. Why are you acting surprised now? I'm surprised he hasn't just accepted his fate and just, like I said before, Mark got paired with Anissa what was it? Something part 2. The duel 2, he already knew what time it was.
Right.
But I didn't think taking the shots was really, really necessary, even though it wasn't wrong. But most importantly, we're starting to see the real Jordan. Jordan has been on this whole makeover. I am supportive. I'm woke. And I'm a new person. Look at me now. And this whole thing that he's been pretending to be. And we got a glimpse of who he truly is a person with no fucking compassion. And not even get into the whole race shit. he is a racist. Just kidding, I haven't made that clear. But not even getting into any of that. But it shows that he doesn't have compassion. Doesn't give a fuck about Anissa. And let me tell you something. I don't know why we are in day 2 of the final and they're still pretending to be fucking friends. Guys, take it away. What is your take on Jordan Weiss's behavior in this final?
I mean, it's pretty standard for him. Like, I don't see people are walking around like, oh, he has no compassion and oh, duh.
No fucking shit.
He's never had this. This is not new. He's exactly the same person as a competitor as he was last time he competed with you guys. What changed? The only thing that changed is he's no longer boning Tori, or they're no longer engaged, more to the point. Like, that's the only reason why Tori's not defending him to the death.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Let's just get this out. And I know we discussed this a little bit when Paige, she's awesome, stopped by the podcast. We all understand that he at least fingered her in that house.
Well, here's the thing. She's done. You could tell by the way she's talking that she's done with this whole situation with him, at least until the final's over.
She's done focused. Now. But up until then,
listen, she's focused on what she has to do. But the thing is she's not going to defend him right now. Let this be when they were still together. She would have been like, oh, you're overreacting. He's just really competitive. And she would have been on his side. And that's just what it would have been. But I understand why Jordan is feeling the way he's feeling as a competitor.
100%.
He is somebody who is 100% about winning. And if he's not winning, he's losing because the other person is better than him. He doesn't think the other competitors are better than him. He definitely doesn't think Devin's a better competitor than he is. And he knows that him and Bananas are on equal levels. So the fact that he's losing is 100% because he has an ankle weight attached to him, which is Anissa. But we always knew that this was going to happen. And to the point, you said he should have known this. He went into this knowing who his partner was. This is not a Tori. This is not a freaking Laurel. This is not anybody who's going to get you to the end.
Wow. Think about, and don't get me wrong, I don't know why, and there's some hater shit at me, but he is banging some pretty good fucking female competitors. Sarah
Rice,
Laurel, Tori.
And
there's a couple
people we don't know about.
Nia never really lived up to her challenge potential.
She could though.
Who else are we missing?
That he's outwardly? I mean, I don't know if there's people we just don't know about.
Right. It's probably a bunch of people that we don't know about.
I don't think it's a bunch.
I know he had a real big crush on Kayla, but I really wouldn't consider Kayla a top tier.
No, and I don't think they smash either. Did him and Nerese actually smash, or was it just cuddling?
I think they hooked up. I don't know if they went all the way.
Nah, I don't think so.
They probably did.
I don't think so.
They probably did.
I don't think so, and I'm going to just keep
There's a lot of movement under that blanket.
I'm just going to keep hoping that they didn't.
We're just going to play it in our minds that it didn't happen.
Because I still fuck with Nerese, so...
Right. That's
cool. You're not going to fuck with Nerese if she found out she sexed him?
Yeah, boning a racist is kind of a deal breaker for me. Unlike some people, Tori. Anyway, moving on.
Tori has questionable ways, from what I understand. Anyway,
listen. How am I gonna say this? Okay, so Anissa, you're my homie, but it was Jordan's fault. The reason why Anissa with the broke ankle. Come on now. So I don't know why this argument was even took place. It was your fault. You had to own up to it. He didn't want to own up to it. Okay. He is mad that he's this far behind. If you just stayed the course, it could have been a whole different outcome. Then you might have a better chance of actually winning the money. So since you got a ankle weight on you, and you like, okay, how am I gonna get this?
If you just refer to her by name, I feel like it's
Anissa. Okay,
dehumanizing to keep referring her to as an ankle weight.
I used her name. I just said it after I said she was an ankle weight.
Right, and I used her name too. But listen, it It could have been different. I think this race would have been different if they just stayed the course on what it. Because once you veer off, anything's allowable to happen. Okay, you have to stay the course. Number one, in order to stay in the race. Number two, the blow up needed to happen because you see the next day how Jordan was kind of encouraging her along, saying this, you got to stay positive regardless.
He's pretending again.
It ain't no pretend. You are in the wilderness right now. You've come this far to tell me to quit now. No, you're not gonna quit. It's not gonna happen. Okay. Your mind is like, let's finish this race. Wherever we place at this point. But with him changing his strategy, it might help him. So you got a whole nother day to go. We're gonna see if it's gonna change, if his attitude's gonna change, or if it's going to revert back to Jordan.
Let's be honest, though. Ankle or not, do you really think Anissa's booking it to every checkpoint? Do you think she's got the ability to outrun a Tori or a
good point.
Or a Nani?
Right. If her ankle was fixed, they'd be in the same position now.
There would be no change.
But you got to also remember, everybody's body is hurting, okay? We don't know what they're going through because the body, especially Bananas, he's 40 years old. I can only imagine what he is going through day after day.
He looks like he's doing
did say she hurt her ankle.
As a competitor.
Right, right.
Just let us say it. Just let us say it.
I'm letting y'all say that. Listen, but I give you that. But with Johnny being 40 years old, I got to give him his props because I don't know how I would have made it through with my age too, because I'm right there at 40. And I'm telling you, a day after a rough race, I'm toe up. It took me about 6 months to recover. So,
but you got to think that he's also kind of conditioned for this. This isn't his first rodeo. And I'll be 100% honest with you. This is not a bad final. It's just literally running and puzzles. This is all it is. And swimming through muck. So, like, I'm over here like, War of the Worlds 1, you win. Like, there's still no competition right now.
Where can I sign up? Because y'all call me because I'm ready. I'm ready to go now. I'm on the plane tomorrow and I'm ready to go. I'm well conditioned. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
This would be a great final if they they got Ride and Dies, but they should have did something like, like Bloodlines, bring in people who don't do the challenge. This would have been fucking great for them.
Well, I mean, some of them didn't, but I mean, mind you, none of them made it to the final.
Right.
Kenny.
Except for...
I can't see... Kenny. Honestly, Kenny coming back, I was like...
Yeah, we knew Kenny. Kenny wasn't going to last that.
You're not making it anyway.
Yeah, he's not built for this.
He would have been done the first day, I think.
But actually, he probably would have been okay. Because the funny thing is, I think Kenny and Casey I think this would be a lot tighter race if it was them. All they had to do was make the fucking final. But
I just want to know everybody's recovery time after this race. That's what I want to know.
They'll be fine. Anyway, moving on. Next day, Anissa and Jordan make up. Yay. TJ arrives and tells them that, hey, we're going to put you guys in this car, but I forgot the motors. He played that up really, really nice. Big props to TJ's comedic timing. It was fucking hilarious how they carried it. So Tori and Devin, they're gonna get first pick at the car. They avoid the one that's stuck in the mud, take another one, they finish, and they gotta push these cars across the line. Nani makes a bad decision, picks the one that's stuck in the mud. They're gonna have a hard time. Jordan and Anissa picks the other car. And did Jordan and Anissa beat out Bananas in them?
I'll be honest, I totally
or did they catch up
on this whole thing.
Did they beat him?
Oh,
I think honestly they were so close because of just everything. I don't know. I don't honestly really remember because I kind of like zoned out a little bit while watching.
Anyway, they got to push a car. It was like 10 yards. Guys. It wasn't even that fucking far that I could tell. Maybe it was, but it didn't really seem that far. To get to the next station. But you know what? Before we do that, the way that Devin and Tori has been playing this game is pretty fucking immaculate. They're running at a good pace, but their strategic gameplay is top fucking tier. It's top tier. I am thoroughly impressed. I thought, I didn't know what to think going into this, but the way they're playing, it is fucking great. They're playing this final the exact way it is supposed to be played. It does not shock me that they've been in the lead for pretty much up until this point. They've been in the lead this whole time.
Listen, this is their final to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no,
honestly. I mean, with the puzzles,
it is.
The
you
puzzles
got Bananas and Jordan. These are two of the best challenge champs.
Bananas is not. He's proven over this whole season that he's not the best at puzzles. He has not been doing well in the puzzles, and this is entirely puzzles to the point where he had to get help to be able to go to sleep. Otherwise, Nani and him would have been there all night. There would have been no point.
I think it's still Bananas and Nani's final to lose.
I mean, honestly. Unfortunately, Nani is okay, but she's not a mental heavyweight when it comes to puzzles. I don't see her carrying the team there. Bananas is okay with certain puzzles, but with what I've been seeing on this season, or even with just these last 2 episodes, he's been tanking on anything that's a puzzle. So
yeah, the puzzle honestly, performance might fuck it up for them.
The fact that Devin has trained as hard as he has, which I'm going to give him credit for that. Even though I'm not the biggest Devin fan, and I honestly don't think that if the final, if this was a Worlds or the Worlds 2 or World of the Worlds 1 final, Devin would be out. He would be gone. I don't think that there would have been a possibility of him doing it. But that's just my opinion in itself. But this final is built for him. It's 100% puzzles. I don't see it.
Oh, not 100%, but I get what you're saying.
99%.
I'll say he's well conditioned as well as Tori, because I've been following those two. I've been following Tori more heavily because of her workouts and whatnot and her routine. Just seeing her day to day and what she do day to day. I got to give her hats off because she's prepared well. Devin also has prepared well. It's theirs to lose. If they lose this, I would be surprised. You will be surprised on my comments next week when the finale actually happens.
Way to tell people what the finale is going to be.
Anyway,
I didn't tell nobody nothing.
We can tell when the finale is going to be. Anyway, moving on. We get to the next station. The next station is an eating challenge. Are they eating gross shit? No. They're eating dinner rolls,
pasta,
and spaghetti.
I got hungry watching.
Surprisingly, Nani and Bananas houses that shit. They house that shit. Kill it.
Are you surprised?
No, not at all. I believe
pasta.
Yeah, I believe Johnny is of Italian descent.
And what's hilarious is, did you see, like, just honestly, TJ, here's your vegan ice cream. And your vegan pasta.
Oh, yeah. They're like, everybody got to eat that shit. I thought putting on the ice cream at the end was kind of fucked up. Like, after you eating all of those carbs, here goes some dairy and fucking sugar. I didn't think that was cool. I didn't think that was cool at all. Didn't have to do with the ice cream. I hate the puking. I do not like eating challenges. I do think that the challenge could get rid of eating challenges 100%. Having it as a daily, I'm kind of okay with. Maybe have them eat some gross shit. There's no need to have it in the final. Not to mention throwing up, that feeling, it takes a lot out of people. Like, I don't throw up that often. But me, if I ever throw up, it takes a lot out of me. It's hard to bounce back after that. It can be pretty fucking brutal and physical for some people. I don't like it. It doesn't need. It's not needed at all. But Nani did find a way to puke in Johnny Banana's pocket, and that was just amazing.
Hilarious.
He was like, "You puked in my pocket."
Fucking awesome.
Oh, it's so funny.
Any thoughts on this carb and sugar and dairy heavy eating competition that we had in the final?
I mean, it's gross to watch.
It is super gross. We don't need it. We don't need it.
Like, honestly, the music that they always play with this always makes me laugh because it's always like classical, like.
Wasn't it like Papa Roach or something this time around?
No, it was literally like, from what I understand, from what I remember, it was like just some classical thing that's just like this almost sweet, kind of
like it's supposed to be classy music. Or something.
And then they're like, ugh! And I was like, oh God,
it's just terrible.
But I honestly, I'm glad it wasn't gross shit again, because that's worse. They puke up more when it's gross stuff. At least now it was like, let me shove a whole bunch of food and swallow it and then I'll throw up, versus like what happened with the other one, which is like I'm putting a mouthful in my mouth and I'm immediately puking it out, like kind of situation. So the fact is that Nani puking on Johnny was hilarious.
Fucking hilarious.
Because literally I was like, I was like, oh my, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. And he went, and I was like, uh-oh. And Johnny's reaction to it was good. He was fun. It was funny as hell. So I liked Johnny's reaction to it at all.
All right. And Rob.
I thought it was entertaining, even though I hate watching people puke. I'm like, good Lord, but it does take a lot out of you. So.
Jackass is the only time it's okay to watch people puke.
Facts.
And it's 2023, even though the last Jackass movie was actually pretty good.
Right.
That's not what's popping these days.
Right.
Gross.
So they do the puke and stuff, but the tables have turned. Bananas and Nani are now in the lead, right where they should be. They're poised to win this whole thing. Devin and Tori is right behind them. They are on their ass. And Jordan and Anissa is in third place. After they get their sleep in, we get ready for the third and last day, or something like 32 hours left, so it's like maybe a day and some change. Helicopters arrive, and that's it. So, that's it for the episode. I want to go right ahead into the rankings. 1 to 5 stars. Where do you rank this episode? Who wants to start it off?
Oh, Rob.
Rob, it's on you.
I knew y'all said to put me on that.
Go ahead.
Let me think. I would go. I'll say about 3.5. Yeah,
3.5 stars.
Yeah, and it's just too many puzzles for me. I want to see something more physical.
A lot of puzzles.
Yeah, I want to see something more physical.
Okay, more physicality. Becky, where do you rank? A 2.
Yeah, it was. This is a thing with longer finals. They get boring and they get tedious. Like, I'm not in the final. Like to me, I'm just like, I literally don't even remember how anybody came in for the car pushing thing, because I literally zoned out while I was watching it. Like, that's how bored I was. And though there were its moments, and there were comedic moments, and then there was sad moments, and there was like dramatics, it wasn't enough to capture or keep or maintain my interest. So honestly, the next episode better be fantastic, or this was a totally worthless 3-day final. Because I'm not even going to call it 100 hours anymore, because it's a fucking 3-day final, because you shouldn't have an 8-hour rest if you're doing 100 hours. Period.
Becky, you win. 2 stars. And the only reason why it gets 2 stars is because it's a final. This final is not good. It doesn't look that difficult, even though I'm sure it is. I'm sure there are hours of running we're not seeing. The disconnect with this final is they're having a hard way to build tension. They can't build any tension. We don't feel, us as an audience don't feel the tension. Also, we're not impressed with what everybody has to do to continue forward. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm okay with puzzles and eating challenges, but outside of pushing the car, all it's been is puzzles and eating challenges for day 2.
There's also no benefit for coming in first, like, at all.
I think there is. I think there's going to end up like timing of when people finish for the day. I do think that will be a benefit at some point, but it's just not great to watch. And I mean, even if you go back to like the Ruins final, the Ruins was that final sticks out to me because it was amazing at building tension. It wasn't the hardest things, but you had all of these little stations. They had to do some running. It wasn't necessarily a very big area. But the Ruins is one of my favorite finals because you had 5 people against 2. We all knew how this was going to turn out. But you felt on your seat the whole time. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Oh my God, it's so close. And we don't get that feeling here. I don't think Jordan and Anissa have any chance of winning this. Bananas and Nani is in the lead. They should easily walk away with this one. All they have to do is hold on to that shit for tomorrow. But as we know, anything can happen. But I am not impressed in this finals. And you know, it's not even funny. It doesn't even seem that dangerous. This is a final. You guys almost fucking killed Devin Simone. Like,
on a fucking mountain.
Exactly. And you got these motherfuckers tiptoeing through a green swamp. This is not the business. Not fucking with it. Not all reality. If the final was just day 1 in the next episode, you could have cut this whole second day the fuck out. Save a day of filming. Honestly. And this episode, it's a final. It's supposed to be more than 24 hours. This episode was only an hour. So over the whole 24 hours, you was only able to find an hour of interesting stuff. When most episodes are an hour and a half, that's how much drama you don't have.
Because 16 hours of it, they were like sleep. You know, let's be honest. Like it's just not even worth the time.
Just make it a 2 day. First off, finals only need to be 2 days, if that. 2 days, if that.
1. I'll just say 1.
And if there's going to be an overnight, make it something difficult. Why are you doing an overnight where they're literally napping in a fucking camp?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally okay with them sleeping. I'm fine with that. Maybe staying up late doing the bikes. You know, even though people shouldn't have to bike before going to bed, I'm okay with that. But we only need 1. We don't need 2 days of sleeping.
I mean, it's just listen. Maybe because I am conditioned to see them do crazy overnight things, like stay awake on this pedestal and don't you fall off or you're going to get a penalty, or ride on these bikes for 8 hours straight and then try and run the next day.
I don't like having people do stuff overnight. I like my sleep. I'd be like, listen, man, let them sleep. Let them sleep.
But you're in a final that's supposed to be entertaining. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work.
Your body's going to shut down at some point.
Big facts.
You got to be ready for that reality of it because, I mean...
Listen, they're camping in the woods playing puzzles.
That's true, but look how much, you know...
This is summer camp. It's not a final. It's a summer camp.
It's literally summer camp.
It's summer camp.
For $1 million.
For $1 million. You said it best.
By that time they got to it, I guarantee you half of them will wore the fuck out.
I mean, I get tired too camping.
No.
It's not a big deal. Like,
no, but I
understand. Running a final.
But I understand what you're saying. Like, as a competitor, they're running around, they're putting puzzles, they are fucking tired. And I get that. They're a lot more tired than what they presented as. And I understand that. And I think that's awesome. I think it is very tough for them. But us at home, there's no tension being built. This final doesn't feel dangerous. War of the Worlds 1 knocked out half of the fucking competitors in the death loop who just like, we couldn't even fucking finish.
Well, I'm finna go through something more dangerous when I leave this bug in
That's right. And you know that as a competitor. So I don't think they're really living up to snuff. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. That's really the episode. I'm actually just a tiny bit kind of disappointed. I think it could have been, I think it could have been a whole lot better.
After day 1, I knew it was just going to go downhill. Like, honestly.
I was expecting a lot out of day 2 because I don't think day 1 was really that great. So I was kind of expecting them
literally
to go a little bit
monotone
harder.
The entire time. I could sleep through this entire thing and it would not bother me. Like, I can't find myself to be excited for this. And maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me watching as a competitor how I would want to be if I was going to do this. Yeah.
I see. We're going to run that shit into the ground. But you know what? This is therapeutic for us. You know, we're going to do it. We're going to get it out of our system.
It's fun.
It's definitely fun.
Well, I got to be really rude to Robert too. I got to be disrespectful to Robert too.
We may not always respond, but we read everything anyway. Thank you guys all so much for listening.
We love
Thank you guys
though.
all so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love Word Challenges. Copy official Love Word Challenges gear at shop.lwcpodcast.com. And make sure you listen to Love Word Challenges on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Robert Stewart Jr. as a competitor. She is Becky at Gift Master Bex. This is Love Word Challenges. Good night.